It's funny that you say that, walking meditation, because I just started really walking, and it does help you meditate, but I just can't seem to get away from this device.
You have to. You just got to do it.
Like,
Say,
I'm
just,
so happy when it
you
dies.
deserve to tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to not answer the phone for like 30 minutes. It's cool. Ain't nothing going to pop off in 30 minutes. You're not going to miss a certain post. It's going to all be there when you get done.
It'll be there. Yeah.
It'll be there, so...
but I'm just like you when you say, like, I'm a marketing person.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to reach thousands and thousands of people.
Right.
But at the same time, when I post online, I don't really want everybody knowing my every move.
Exactly. And that's another reason why I don't do it. But there are times when you need to, because I'm, the whole cliche, self-praise stinks. Well, this is 2018, and if you don't praise yourself,
Right.
who's gonna do it?
Who's gonna do it? Because everybody is in their own.
Everybody's hustling.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own hustle, and a lot of people gonna put themselves out there, and it's like, it's still, in social media land, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing, you squeaking and squeaking and squeaking. I hear from you a lot. So there's a marketing term called top of mind marketing.
Right.
You see this person's post all the time, over and over and over. You're gonna either unfollow them because you're aggravated, or you're not gonna unfollow them, but you're gonna be thinking about them all the time. So, and that's what it comes down to. And granted, I don't post a lot, and I'm starting to die away from Facebook because of what it's become, what it's making us. I think we humans, those individuals that are on Facebook, and they've lost the art of communication and talking to real people and engaging and sharing. We share, but the whole fake news era where, it is said, and I'm not sure if this is really true or not, but sometime during the election period, there was all this fake news, and people were literally looking at a headline and sharing articles without reading the content of what was in the article, just because they saw the headline. Oh my God, share without reading.
Yeah.
And people still do that, but then when you click the link and you open it up, it's not even anything like the headline. Has nothing to do with it, and therefore you're sharing. People are reading headlines because we live in this fast information age where they're like real quick reading headlines, and you're formulating these opinions and these ideas that really are these thoughts. You're letting these thoughts that somebody else is dictating, you're letting these thoughts rule your thoughts, and now all of a sudden you feel differently about certain things, and you're angry or impassioned unnecessarily.
Right.
So, and I'm going to start blogging again, which means I'm going to have to make time to blog, because a blogger, you got to create that time. You got to create that time.
So you're a writer.
I'm a writer, but I write in spurts, just like music. It's the same way. I can't sit down and write every day. I am not that kind of writer. But when writing comes to me, I write. And I do lately what I do, I journal, and I create journal entries, and then I go back and piece them together, and I try to tell the story based on the journal entries. But more than likely, for me, it's therapy, just getting it out, just writing it.
I would be interested in knowing how you do that.
It's the Notepad in Apple. I'm iPhone. I use
journal,
Notepad for everything.
But I'm saying, like, how do you turn it into a story? Well, beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah. And you find what's common, and during that time, I'll sometimes, if I'm posting something, if I post something on Facebook and it's really laborious or long, I have to edit it down. Or you find yourself saying, "What was I thinking? I'm not posting that. I'm gonna save that one for the books." I was out feeling that one day. It's not defining me who I am.
Right.
But more than likely, I know people say it matters, or social media matters, or being on social media matters, so that people could actually see what you're doing and they can feel like they're connected to what you're doing. But another part of my brain is like, it really, like, why does it matter? People don't pick up the phone. You don't call me. You don't text. You don't write. Like, those individuals who do get my time.
It's like calling someone now is like knocking on somebody's door.
Yeah.
Nobody does it.
Right.
The only calls you really get are from,
sometimes you got, like, for me, I'm old school. Like, sometimes you have to have a phone call. Sometimes you got to talk, because you don't get tone you don't get you can't get the feeling or the emotion in writing text. I don't care what you say. You know what people say. Like, it's not. You don't necessarily get it like that. But at a conversation, you have a chance to, and you have a chance to express yourself a lot more. You could say more or less, depends on how you do it, and that person could have a chance to process things. You know, for me, writing, like when I writing is my chance to perfect my communication.
Right, mine.
So I think that goes without saying. So, you know, when you post something, you've had a chance to edit
not for
it.
people watching. They might not know.
Well,
somebody who doesn't write may not know, so that might be good information.
Yeah.
To talk about, like, how does writing help you communicate?
For me, I mean, it refines my message. So if I want to say something and I just, you know, sometimes for me, a good quote, somebody already said that. I don't have to elucidate, elaborate, you know. Just check this quote out. This is going to bless your socks off, and you post it, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's a great quote." That's what I'm talking about. And you let it. I know what it means to me at that time. Now, sometimes I'll write something, and if you write, you have a chance to pause. You have a chance to undo and edit and, you know, and rephrase things. It's a little bit more intentional, versus this, you know, for free thought writing,
right? Which
I'm not really. I don't do that, you know. And today I went down and I did so and so, and then I went over here, and then period. And you're editing, and you know. I like to type, man. I mean, I went to school. I used to type on a typewriter with correction tape. Yeah. That's why I learned how to type on a typewriter.
So you had time to think about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Trump need, and I think that's what Kanye West need. Kanye West need time to sit down.
And it's okay. I think everybody needs some time to just pause a little bit. Yeah. Be like, you know, there was when Twitter first came out. There's two things that I love about Twitter. There was this video that Comedy Central put out called "The Trouble with Twitter," and it's still apropos. Like, I might post that tonight, just because let people go back in time for a little bit. So these guys are in the office, and this guy's sitting here. You can hear typing. He's like, Joe, what are you doing over there? He's like, oh, I'm tweeting. Tweeting? What's that? He's like, just, you know, hold on a second. I get my thoughts out real quick. He's like, you don't know what Twitter is? He's like, no. Okay, let me go into the Twitter sphere. Let's take you into the Twitter sphere. So they fly up in space, and they're like, welcome to the Twitter sphere. And all of a sudden you see, you know, different people floating around, which represents their tweets. Sitting in my chair with my cat now. Yeah, I just got an award for so-and-so. I mean, just random things. And they're like, well, the guy's like, what is this? He says, then the girl's like, it's everything and nothing. You know, it's just a really funny commercial. And then during that time, when they made the video, Twitter used to crash because of so many people just joining Twitter every day and tweeting about nothingness and not even understanding the importance of tweeting. Like, you only got 12 followers, you know, and they're not online right now, right. But you yelling, and to me, it's like you walking in the room going, yeah, I got a cat today. It is a calico, you know. Okay, you got 12 followers. You're not saying anything to anybody. Like, who cares, you know? So the Twitter sphere crashed, and they had the little fail whale, which is the little tweet birds hanging up. They're holding up the whale. The whale's hanging, and it's like, oh, Twitter's crashing. You know, Twitter doesn't crash anymore. It's on quite a stable server. I just thought that was funny, and you know, but tweeting. Now we have more characters to tweet with. You got more than 160 now, and still people feel like, and I don't know why this is, but they feel emboldened and impassioned to say mean stuff on Twitter or on Facebook. When you sitting in front of my face and you having this conversation, you won't even open your mouth. I'm trying to figure that out. Right. So what is up with that? Why do people do that? You know, or and
I think it's like music, like how people make music for therapy.
Yeah.
And people get on Twitter for therapy because they don't think anybody's listening. So it's like going into a closet. I remember when I first started rapping, I used to go into the closet and I would talk about the issues that I was dealing with in daily life, so I wouldn't have to, you know, do something in real life. It's like therapy, so you don't have to get in trouble.
Okay.
So people who go on Twitter, you go on Twitter and you talk stuff, not knowing who listening. Because I see people talk stuff about me all the time. Be like,
what? Oh,
like,
come on.
You know, you get off the phone with somebody and then you check their Twitter and they talking stuff and you're like, I think they talk about me, but I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly. I haven't used it in a while.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around where people, post stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, okay, thank you for sharing your journal entry with us,
Right.
and I've done it.
Right.
And so recently, this is so stupid. So if you believe in this, I do, and I'm a little weird. So Mercury went in retrograde a couple weeks ago, and it happens every year, 4 times a year. Mm-hmm. And what happens is, it is said that if you look at the planet Mercury, it appears that Mercury is going backwards, mm-hmm. and not the other way. So Mercury retrograde rules communication, it rules electronics, mm-hmm. Signals. You're not supposed to do contracts. It's like, don't sign any contracts. You don't break up with anybody. You don't end any contracts during that period. You should be intentional and pause and very, very, very strategic about your communication, because it rules communication. Well, in April, Mercury was also in retrograde, but Saturn was in retrograde. Or Jupiter was in retrograde. And Jupiter rules the emotions. Mm-hmm. So I'm now being ruled in a communication and emotion at the same time. Mm-hmm. So why was I just decided to rant, and I wrote the longest Facebook rant of my entire Facebook career. Why?
And did you feel bad about it after? Did you delete it?
I did not delete it.
You kept it.
I kept it, and people commented, and they were like, "Good for you, but you need to do that more often." I'm like, "But I don't want to do it more often because it was so." It was a combination of me writing, like I said, writing my little journal entries, and then just dropping it out, instead of me doing this, making a time to say, "Okay, today I'm going to post one thing today, and update my peeps. Anybody who cares." I didn't. It was this long, laborious rant, and I was like, why did I do that way? It should have been a Medium post. Mm-hmm. It should have been a Medium and, blog about it or something. Medium is awesome. I like Medium. It's pretty cool. So, like, as a matter of fact, like the New Adventures of Professor Clock, the whole backstory is on Medium, along with the sound, along with the music. So you have to go on Medium and listen to the whole thing, and you can read the story along with why I created it. It's all there.
While you're reading it. I mean...
Yeah.
While you listening to it, you can read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that would be my way of doing liner notes, and the discography for the album. It's all there on Medium that way.